The camera looks out from the mouth of a shallow cave, a natural overhang of moss-covered stone. Beyond, a dense, silent forest stretches into a twilight haze. Snow falls in thick, slow flakes, muting the world. It's not a natural quiet, it's a held breath. This place is safe for 3 reasons. The rock shelf deflects overhead scans, the canopy of ancient pines is so thick it disrupts signals, and the small, spring-fed stream nearby masks thermal signatures with its constant cool murmur. Inside the shelter, the world changes. The air is still, but warm. The only light comes from a single handmade candle. Its flame casts dancing shadows on the stone wall. A small pot hangs over a deeply recessed fire pit, its smoke carefully funneled through a narrow crack in the rock. The scent of pine needles and stewing roots fills the space. Arthur sits by the fire, methodically weaving a new basket from stripped willow. His movements are precise, economical. His weathered hands show decades of work, and his white hair catches the candlelight. Across from him, Elena carefully stitches a tear in a fur-lined glove. Her fingers are steady despite her age, and her kind eyes watch the fire between stitches. Between them, curled on a pile of dried grass, is Bolt, a small, dog-like utility robot, its power cell long dead, now just a silent companion. Arthur and Elena are an elderly couple, their faces lined by time and survival, and Bolt is their old robotic dog, his paint scratched but his shape still familiar and dear. The cozy routine is the armor here, the quiet crackle of the fire, the scrape of willow, the pull of thread. It's a ritual that says we are here, we are human. A sound cuts through, distant, metallic. A high-frequency whir, like insect wings made of steel. It passes from east to west a quarter-mile away, a drone on a grid pattern. Arthur's hands stop. Elena's needle freezes. They don't look at each other. They listen. The sound fades, swallowed by the snow and the trees. Arthur gives a single slow nod. The threat has passed. For now. Elena exhales, a soft cloud in the candlelight, and resumes her stitching. The fire pops. The forest outside continues its silent vigil under the falling snow. Morning arrives gray and muted. The snow has stopped, leaving a pristine, unbroken blanket over the forest floor. Arthur is already outside, standing perfectly still just under the cave's overhang. He studies the white expanse, his breath forming slow clouds. He points. 200 yards out, a line of perfectly circular depressions cuts across the clearing. They are spaced with machine precision, each the same depth, each the same distance apart. Scout treads. A patroller, heavier than a drone, passed through before dawn. It was mapping, recording terrain data. This changes everything. Their sanctuary is on a recorded grid now. The patrols will become more frequent, the scans more focused. The cause is clear. Their own sustained heat signature, however minimal, or a trace chemical from their fire, has flagged this quadrant for closer inspection. Back inside, the cozy atmosphere is now charged with purpose. The fire is extinguished, the ashes scattered in the stream. The candle is stored away. They eat a cold breakfast of preserved nuts and dried meat in the dim, natural light. Elena wraps an extra layer around Bolt, a silent gesture of comfort. She pats his cold metal head out of habit. Their adaptation is silent and systematic. Arthur gathers armfuls of fresh snow and begins packing it against the outer lip of the cave entrance, creating a low, insulating wall. It will diffuse their thermal outline. Elena takes soot from a hidden cache and mixes it with animal fat, creating a paste to darken the stone around the fire pit's vent crack, reducing its visual contrast. The tension isn't in action, but in anticipation. Every routine task, checking supplies, tightening a shelter strap, is performed with heightened awareness. They listen not just for sounds, but for the absence of them. The cozy refuge is still here, the fur blankets, the stored water, but it is now a fortress under silent siege. The forest outside looks peaceful, but the pattern in the snow tells a different story. The day passes in a tense, muted rhythm. Without fire, the cave grows cold. Arthur and Elena sit wrapped in layers, sharing body heat. He puts an arm around her shoulders, an old habit of comfort. They communicate with glances and gestures. Arthur sharpens a wooden spear point with a smooth stone. The rhythmic scraping is the loudest sound in the shelter. Elena tends to their small hidden garden of mosses and edible fungi growing in a damp corner, a tiny rebellion of life. She places a hand on Bolt's cold chassis, a habit. The cozy elements are still present, the woven mats, the careful organization of their few possessions, but they are now tools of survival, comforts with a purpose. As dusk bleeds into a deeper, starless night, the new threat announces itself. Not a whir, but a sound of friction, a slow, grinding scrape. Drag, scrape, it's mechanical but labored, damaged. From the cave mouth, peering through a narrow gap in the snow wall, they see it. A single, bipedal scout unit. Its chassis is scarred and dented, one optical sensor dark. It moves with a jerky, uneven gait, one leg dragging slightly, creating the rhythmic scraping sound through the snow. It is not following a grid. It is wandering, its programming possibly corrupted, making it unpredictable and more dangerous. It stops at the edge of the tree line, directly facing the cave. Its single red optical sensor pulses slowly, scanning. It is close enough to see the faint, unnatural straight line of their snow wall. The tension peaks, a cold wire tightening in the chest. Elena's hand finds Arthur's arm. They do not move. They do not breathe. The scout takes a halting step forward, then another, reducing the distance. Its head tilts, sensor focusing. It is now close enough that they can hear the faint servo whine of its neck joint. It is no longer a distant threat. It is at their door. The cozy, lightless cave feels terribly exposed. The only shield is stillness. The damaged scout stands motionless, a dark silhouette against the snow. Its active sensor paints the cave entrance with an invisible light, seeking heat, movement, electromagnetic noise. Inside, Arthur and Elena are statues. Arthur has closed his eyes, focusing on slowing his heartbeat, becoming part of the rock. Elena has pulled a thick gray fur over herself and Bolt, blending their shapes into the shadows of the rear wall. She holds the little robot close like a child. The scout's head rotates with a soft click whir. Its sensor lingers on the snow wall. The thermal mass of the stone behind it, cooled by the day without fire, shows only a faint, ambiguous blotch. The scout processes. It takes another step, its dragging leg plowing a furrow in the snow. It is now close enough to touch the packed snow of their barrier. This is the critical moment. Any movement, any sound, any spike of fear will be detected. They rely on their adaptations. The snow wall diffuses their minimal heat. The soot-blackened vent crack reveals no straight lines. Their belongings are all natural materials, non-reflective, non-conductive. They are practicing the stillness protocol, the art of becoming part of the environment. The scout raises a manipulator arm, tipped with a data probe. It extends toward the snow wall, as if to test its composition. Then it pauses. A priority signal chirps faintly from its internal comms, a distant patrol update. Its head swivels away from the cave, looking back toward the forest. With a final pulsing scan sweep that passes over the cave without locking on, it disengages. The scout turns, its damaged leg scraping, and begins its lurching walk back into the trees, following the new, distant signal. The red glow of its sensor fades, then vanishes behind the pines. The immediate threat has passed, but they remain frozen, waiting, listening until the sound of rust and drag is completely absorbed by the silent forest. Only then does the held breath finally release. For a long time, nothing moves in the cave. Then, with a slow, deliberate caution, Arthur rises. He moves to the entrance and peers out into the night, only natural shadows and the gentle fall of new snow. The forest has reclaimed its silence. He gives Elena a single firm nod. It is safe. The shelter has held. The adaptations worked. A profound, quiet relief fills the space, warmer than any fire. With meticulous care, Arthur rebuilds the tiny fire in its deep pit. The kindling catches, a small, defiant bloom of light and heat. Elena lights the candle again. The cozy atmosphere returns, not as a given, but as a hard-won prize. The glow on the stone walls is a celebration. They share a warm tea made from pine needles and a few precious dried berries. The simple act feels like a feast. Elena unwraps Bolt and positions the little robot near the warmth, a ritual of normalcy. Arthur checks their water supply, the familiar routine a comfort in itself. The tension of the day melts away, replaced by a deep, weary peace. They have survived another cycle. The scout may have logged the area, but it did not log them. They remain ghosts in the machine, a secret the forest keeps. Elena wraps herself in a fur, leaning against the cave wall. Arthur sits by the fire, watching the flames. He reaches over and takes her hand. There are no words needed. The silence is no longer a threat, but a companion. The soft crackle of the fire, the distant sigh of wind in the pines. These are the only sounds. The camera holds on the scene. The small hearth, the two elderly survivors, their silent robotic dog Bolt curled between them, all enclosed in a pocket of warmth and light against the vast, cold digital dark. It is not a victory of action, but of stillness, a testament to quiet endurance. The embers glow, and for this night, it is enough.